All right, let's take a minute so that you can practice what you have learned in the last lesson with sample means and proportions. So let's take a look at the 3 scenarios below. What you're going to do is I want you to think of why each of the following are misleading questions. When you're done, go to the next slide and see how you did. So if you need to pause the recording to write your answers down, go ahead and do that, and then come back and watch and see how you answered the question. So the first question says, indicate whether you agree or disagree with the following statement. I feel welcomed by the coaches and athletes on my first day at lacrosse camp. So is this a misleading question or does it sound good? The second question says, during the last school year, the administration for a local school district wanted to see if the community supported an increase in taxes to increase pay raises for teachers and more technology for students. The survey was sent to every household in the school district. One of the questions they asked was, even if you're not currently involved in the school, do you think that we should raise taxes in order to increase funding for our schools? 66% of the respondents answered no. Think about that question. Did that lead the people to answer one way, or was it very neutral and you could give your own opinion to that question? So question 3 says, a local expert psychologist was looking at the effects of TV on younger children. She personally went to 35 homes in the Durham area with preschool-aged children. She asked the following question. Do you agree or disagree with the fact that if your child watches 3 or more hours of TV per day, then they'll be less likely to sit still in kindergarten? So take a look at that question. Is it a misleading question or is it good to go? Write your questions down on your notes, and then when you're ready to see your answers, go ahead and hit play. All right, so let's take a look at that first question. It's a little bit misleading because it has the statement, I feel welcomed. So the statement, I feel welcomed, leads you to state that you feel welcomed even if you did not. So the question is leading you in a direction of feeling welcome. The way that you could correct that is you could potentially say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how welcome or unwelcome did you feel by the coaches and athletes on your first day at lacrosse camp? Take a look at the second question. Notice how it starts out by saying, even if you are not currently involved in the school. So that statement indicates to the people, hey, you don't have any stake in the school, so why would you want to spend your money on this school? So this would prompt them to say, no, we should not raise taxes since you don't have any stake in the school. So you could just, to make this better, completely eliminate that and say, do you think that we should raise taxes in order to increase funding for our schools? So if you take that out, then that makes that a more neutral question. Let's take a look at the last one. A local psychologist was looking at the effects of TV on younger children. So the part that says the local psychologist, that is going to be the part that's going to lead you in the direction to agree with her. The question is actually worded pretty well. Do you agree or disagree with the fact? So that's not leading them in one way or the other. However, since it's coming from a local expert in psychology, people might tend to answer yes because they are going to answer in the direction that they think the local psychologist would answer. All right, take a look at question 1 and question 2. I would like you to write a good survey question. So your family has decided to open up an Airbnb in their spare bedroom and bathroom. You'll want to find out how the people staying at your Airbnb like their stay. What I want you to do is write a survey question that will appropriately answer the question. So remember, you don't want to lead the people in one way or the other. You want to get an honest opinion. So you don't want to lead them in the fact that they liked your Airbnb or disliked it. So write a question and then we'll take a look at the next page and see if it met all the requirements. Take a look at question 2. Your community has decided to impose a curfew on drivers under 18. You believe that most parents do not support this curfew. Write a survey question to find out what percentage of parents with teenagers would support your curfew. Now, be careful not to include your opinion in the question. You want to get an honest opinion about what the parents would have to say. When you're ready, hit play and go on to the next slide. All right, so number 1, did you make sure for that first question that you avoided something that indicated a direction? Oh, was your stay wonderful? You just want it to be very neutral to let you know how they liked their stay at your Airbnb. If you have a scale, make sure it goes in order from not satisfied to satisfied. So 1 would be not satisfied and 5 would be satisfied. For question 2, make sure when you state the question that you don't state most parents don't agree with the curfew. An example would be currently there's no curfew for teenagers under the age of 18. Would you or would you not support a law that imposes 11 p.m. curfew for teenage drivers under the age of 18? So this is giving a fact that there is no curfew, and then it's saying, do you agree or disagree? It's not leading in one direction or the other. Okay, so for these next two, what I want you to do is you're going to get some practice finding the sample means and sample proportions. So Jack Frost High School is trying to decide whether or not they should take out the soda machine in the cafeteria. The principal has stated that 75% of the students would support this. You think this is crazy. You take a random sample of 250 students at your school and 75 say that they support taking out the soda machine. What is the sample proportion? Now be careful with this. There's two proportions given in this question. You have to decide which one is the sample and which one is the population proportion, and make sure you use your correct symbols so your reader knows whether or not your answer is from a sample or a population. So take a look at question 2. You're getting ready to figure out your monthly electric bill. The electric company recommends you budget $75 a month based on the building's electric use. You think this is a lot of money. You randomly sample 5 people in your apartment building with the same floor plan and ask them what their monthly electric bill is. They say $67, $35, $100, $72, and $57. What is the sample mean? Now for this one, also keep in mind you're given 2 sets of numbers here. Which one is the population mean and which one is the sample mean? Also make sure, once again, that you're using your correct symbols so the reader knows whether it's a sample or a population mean. All right, so take a minute and try these, and once you have your answer, hit play again and check out and see how you did. All right, so question 1, the outcome from the survey was 75 out of the total 250. So make sure that you're using that p hat to show that that's from a sample, and simplify your fraction to get a decimal is 0.30. Okay. They were way off because we said the population proportion was 75% wanted to take out the soda machine. So they were off. So it was good to take a sample. So question 2, here are our readings. How do we find the sample mean? So to find the sample mean, remember we're using X bar. It tells us that that is a sample average. I'm going to add the 67, the 35, the 100, the 72, and the 57, and divide that by the total number of samples that I have, which are 5, and get 66.2. So the average is about $66.20 for the electric bill. Now, the apartment manager said that it was about $75, so that's off, but maybe not a huge amount. So they were close, and we can say, all right, maybe we can budget $75, so it's better to over budget the 75 than under budget. You're ready to move on to the next lesson.